Ahoy.
You say ahoy?
Ahoy.
Welcome to the completely unnecessary podcast. Summer is here. It's Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. That's Ian Ferguson showing me his armpit. I'm Pat Contry. Today on the show, we'll be talking about AMC reopening theaters. Pokemon Snap 2. Mixer shut down in the middle of the night.
Jesus.
Billy Mitchell back in the news. WADA auctions and more. And a Patreon poll topic. Real quick, we got enamel pins, Ian. We got t-shirts that are limited well. They're limited. At ultimatenintendo.com.
We're real fancy now.
I got my Stream Deck finally hooked in. And we got a certain NES and Super Nintendo guidebook. Bobby Heenan's promoting the Super Nintendo guidebook behind me right there as well. So go to ultimatenintendo.com. I'm also doing my cameos. Cameo.com/PatContry.
Have you had to do any recently?
Yeah, I've been doing averaging one a day for the last week or so. Doing pep talks. I've done more roasts than I thought I would. I just did a roast for Nintendo Age Edmonton. They have a arm up there, and they wanted me to roast them and say how much better my game collection was than theirs. So it's all in good fun, I guess. I haven't got another wedding proposal yet, nor a breakup. And remember, for next week, all proceeds will go to the ACLU till the end of June there. So check it out. There, Ian, how was your weekend?
I worked. I
working more than usual.
Yeah,
for the man.
Yeah, it's just been really, really busy at Luna since we opened. The first week or so after we opened, it wasn't as busy as I would have thought. Well, I didn't think it was going to be immediately busy when we reopened. I figured it would take time for people to want to come out, for people to know that we were open.
No, we're impatient folks.
But yeah, within I would say by the end of the second week of us being open, it was getting crazy again. Nothing's in stock anywhere.
Nothing. What do you mean? Nothing's in
Nothing's in stock. If you want a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One or even a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360, and heaven help you if you want a Nintendo Switch, they are sold out everywhere.
So we'll just say consoles within the past 10 years.
They're gone.
They're gone.
They're non-existent, and it's not just our store. They're not at GameStop. You can't find them new in Best Buy or places like that.
You can't find a 360 anywhere?
No. As a matter of fact, if you pull up GameStop right now, at least as of yesterday, or 2 days ago, if you go to hardware and you search for 360 and you expand it to within 100 miles, there's no 360s in Southern California. This shit is just sold out.
Oh, you can buy them on eBay, it looks like.
Yes, you can, and everything's going for higher prices. That the price of everything changed after lockdown.
Well, it looks like the original white one's still pretty cheap, but the newer ones, the slims are going for 160. It looks like. Actually, no, it looks like it's maybe it hasn't settled the price. 140 for a 250 gig Xbox 360S model.
Yeah, that's like double the price of what they were before lockdown. Yeah. I mean, before lockdown, an Xbox One 500 gig was going for $129.99, and a 250 gig 360 like that was $70.
So what is the one Xbox One now going for?
The Xbox One, I don't know.
130 to what?
Haven't gotten one.
Oh, okay.
Haven't gotten one.
So people were just figuring out I want to now buy or should we play more games now that I'm locked in?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it.
Is that really it? People have that much more time?
Well, I think it's that, but it's also, not as many people are locked down now. But all of these places like GameStop and us, we were without our usual inventory, the way we get inventory for 2 full months.
So that still has to come back in.
Gotcha. So we're 2 full months behind on inventory, and then supply lines like in factories. I mean, like Sony, Nintendo, they were shutting down certain aspects because they couldn't produce.
Oh no, everything was shut down in China for literally two months.
That's where it is. So, anyways, that's what I'm talking about because I work all the time now and I have nothing interesting to talk about. But
this is interesting, Ian.
Work has been.
Don't put yourself down, buddy.
Work has been hectic because of that. We ordered in. We got We ordered in 25 PlayStation 4 controllers. Normally, we order about 4 PlayStation 4 controllers per order.
From your handy dandy guy that comes in with his little hat on and his little order clipboard, and puts it down.
Yeah, sure.
What'll be this week, Ian?
But
carton of milk.
Like, the controllers are gone everywhere. So like, people are just. I got multiple calls. I got like 6 calls in a row for PlayStation 4 controllers. I thought it was a prank.
They can't find them. Really?
No, you just can't find them. And people are getting like, I feel bad for people on the phone, but they're like sighing and they sound like
burning through their PS4 controllers.
And people just like,
or they break.
Everyone is very, very impatient. Everyone wants everything now. Oh yeah, PlayStation 4 controllers aren't that great.
Oh,
I'm not a huge fan of the PlayStation 4 controller. I like the PlayStation 4, but I'm not a big fan of the controller.
The quality is just goes.
Yeah, they go. My bigger problem with the PlayStation 4 controller is that battery life is pretty bad.
And it's hard to swap it out. It's not like an Xbox controller.
Right.
That's why I always give the Xbox the edge on the controllers, because there's no bullshit about tinkering to change the battery on them. You know. Okay, well that's good, Ian. I'm glad you're getting paid. Not just from the CU podcast, but also from the store. That's good. I went to the zoo on Thursday. So the zoo, I'm in the Keepers Club, Ian. I'm the second tier member there. I might bump it up again. We'll see. Love the zoo, Ian. We love the zoo. San Diego Zoo is like #1 in America. It's always voted best zoo in America. And they were closed down with everything going on, so they're deciding to reopen. They're going to reopen at more limited capacity, and everyone's going to have to wear a mask, and social distancing put in place. Those are like some of the things they're doing. But they did a preview day. I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for members only. I guess because it's a smaller amount, and plus they always do events for members only, and then they're reopened for everyone on Saturday. So it was interesting. It was interesting because they even had you walk in. You had to snake around. They weren't even letting you gather all one place. You had to snake around from the parking lot through like this big long line, and then they had these stations where you basically had to answer off this board. You know, do you have a fever? Have you been in contact with anyone that has COVID-19?
Yeah, the same sort of questions they ask before you go into like urgent care or doctor's offices.
Yes. But even before that, they had like security. Even before that, making sure I guess everyone had already had a mask on, things like that. So they're doing their due diligence, I guess, the best they can. But once you get inside and people are walking around on their own, that's a different story. And that's what was, I don't want to call it upsetting, but alarming. That, and this goes for most of the U.S. because we're like the only country on the face of the earth where the cases are not going down. We're staying the same at this point, where people don't care. Even people that are members of the zoo, that you think, oh, the people that are members of the zoo, they may be more careful. No, I would say about 20 to 25% of the people walking around were still walking around the zoo with either the mask not on or improperly on, and they didn't give a shit. Even when they were, it wasn't. Sometimes they weren't near people, but sometimes they were. And I was just like, didn't want to be like a mask Nazi, but a couple times I grumbled at people and they heard me. Like I was not pleased that they couldn't go to the freaking zoo and keep your mask on at the zoo. Keep your mask on. If not, if you're uncomfortable, don't go to the zoo. Then don't go outside. That's the rule. That's a law in California now. Don't fucking go. You're putting me at risk, asshole.
As much as I want to go to the zoo, I don't. Vonnie and I renewed our passes 2 months ago. And
the zoo was great because during this COVID, they bumped up.
They
extended your membership. The zoo's the best organization.
We just wanted to get them the money because we knew they needed it right now. But as much as I want to go, like it's the #1 thing on my list to do. Like I want the 3 things I want to do when this fucking shit reopens: zoo, Portland, Buffalo. Like those are the 3 things that I want to do. That's
I'll
what I want to do.
The zoo is since it's open air, it's less of a risk.
Yes.
So that's the good news.
I just feel like I'd get angry at people.
I got angry.
I don't know that I'd enjoy myself.
I got angry. I don't care. The little kids, that's something else. They're breathing to the ground. What, are you going to hit my ankle? That's fine. I don't care if you have a mask on. If you're like, if you're 3 or 4, you don't have to have a mask on. That's fine. That the risk is so low. It's non-existent if you even have it. And asymptomatic if you're a kid. But older people not wearing them, like they don't give a shit. Like, I'm seeing that more and more, where the people that are more likely to die from getting this aren't wearing masks.
At work, I've developed a hand signal because I would say that 25% of the people not wearing masks, I can agree that with that stat, you're probably right. But wearing them improperly, I feel like that's closer to 75.
Oh, I wouldn't put it that high.
People don't know how to wear masks.
Well, if it's not, when you say, well,
the thing I do at work now, and I have to do it all the time, is
I like that. Just
point and then pull up. That's what I have to do at work to customers all the time. I don't even say anything anymore. I just point at their face and I make the pull up motion because everyone's wearing it like down here, and it's like cover your face.
It's like putting a condom on the tip, and that's it.
A guy
don't do it then.
A guy came into work yesterday without a mask, and I have to say, it is infrequent that people come in without masks, and most of the people are very, very, like, they're very thankful when I hand them a mask. Most people are being very nice about it. But I hand the guy the mask, he puts it on, and then immediately pulls it down below his chin and starts talking to me. And I just start laughing, and he's like, what? And I said, dude, I just gave you a mask to put on.
And he doesn't.
And you looped it around, and I said it to him, and I said, you looped it around your ears and then pulled it below your mouth.
And what did he say?
He was like, I wasn't even thinking.
That was fucking just, think, and that's a problem.
That was his response. That was his
I wasn't response. Thinking.
I wasn't thinking, and like,
and I always say in the past to private, like, I don't have faith in humanity. And this is a cynical thing, somewhat. In general, I don't have faith in humanity because just how many people it takes a minority of people who don't think to ruin things for the majority of people. And this is the biggest case of that happening.
My entire life has just been me locked in a battle with misanthropy. That's just what my entire life has been. And I refuse to let misanthropy win, but I just don't have the faith in people. I don't.
It only works. It only works in something like this if everyone does it. It only works if everyone does it. Or like 99% do it. So the one good thing the zoo did, though, is that they like put barriers in place when there was like glass things, because obviously if you breathe on something, people putting their paws on it. So like, you know, like when you walk down near the tigers, how there's the area everyone goes underneath because the tigers was there, that was just closed entirely. You couldn't go there.
Yeah.
Anything, for the most part, anything with glass, like when you see the baboons, like that, you had to be a little bit further back from it.
That makes sense.
But I don't want to call out my favorite place in San Diego. You have to have more people walking around telling people to put your fucking masks on. There was not people walking around doing that. The zoo is gigantic. If you haven't been to the San Diego Zoo, it's gigantic. I can't even explain. I don't know how many acres it is. It's gigantic.
It's insane.
It's gigantic, and they're always expanding it. There's always like, oh, what's that? Oh, they're
expanding it right now.
Yes.
They're redoing the kids area.
Yeah, they're doing another area. I look down. I was kind of near the tigers. I'm looking. I'm like, what the hell's that over there? They're already doing something else.
The zoo never sleeps. There's always something being worked on.
So anyway, that's all I'm going to say is that please take caution when you go out. And I'm tired of people saying, you see signs where it's almost parody, where it's like, my body, my choice. Listen, asshole. It's not your choice in your body to be drinking and driving.
100 acres.
It's 100. It's not just 100 acres.
Literally says how many acres. The San Diego Zoo is 100 acres in size.
It's not just 100 acres. That's not. No, there's no way it's only 100 acres.
That's coming right from Balboa Park themselves.
Okay, then I don't know what an acre is done, and because that seems really small for the San Diego Zoo. Anyway, I would have said like 300 or 400 acres. Anyway, so yeah, it goes beyond your body, your choice when you're affecting other people. I don't think people either get that or understand it. So we have laws about drunk driving, laws about doing dumb shit that endangers others. So it's not just your body, your choice. I'm sorry. I don't want to get your COVID, you know.
It's 40 hectares.
Okay, would you stop looking at Meredith Baxter Burney stuff while I'm talking about this? So, in terms of reopening, AMC is saying we're reopening in July.
AMC is they are the laughing stock as far
as this whole situation.
Yes,
the poster boy.
They came out and complained they like wept openly about Universal. I can't believe they would show the Trolls movie.
Oh, that's right, because in all this they were starting to show newer movies.
Yeah, they've been all fucking weepy about movies being shown on demand, and they said they weren't going to show Universal movies because they showed Trolls.
Yeah, was it Trolls 2 that came out?
Yeah.
The animated movie?
Yeah, they said that they weren't going to. They got in their fucking feelings about it and said they weren't going to show Universal movies because they had the balls to show the fucking Trolls movie.
Because you could buy it on Amazon and other places.
Yeah, you could do a couple other movies like that too. I'm sorry, the movie.
It's their business, Universal. They have the right to. They don't want to wait 9 months to see if it comes out.
It's their business, and now AMC's reopening, and they've said that they're not requiring. This is so funny. They're not requiring anyone to wear masks because they don't want to get into a political statement. You just made it political. They just made it political.
They reversed that within 24 hours.
Oh, did they?
Oh, yeah. Because they got shit on.
Yeah, they did. That's all I did. I did not see them actually reverse.
So they want to resume operations at 450. This comes from good old Variety. They got the scoop in Hollywood.
What I'm getting at is that they're going out of their way to fuck themselves over.
Yeah, and I understand that movie theaters, like your business, relies on obviously showing movies and getting people back, and the movies have all been pushed back. But there's got to be a smarter way to go about this, obviously. So they wanted to resume operations 450 locations on July 15th because Mulan is coming out July 24th, and the big one, the Christopher Nolan movie Tenet, pushed back to July 31st, so still July. Those are going to be huge movies, well, especially Tenet's going to be seen by everyone. That looks amazing, that movie.
I don't know. I've never even heard of it.
Okay, go watch it. Or go watch the trailers, a couple. Not now.
I'm not going to.
So they said we're gonna reduce our seating capacity in order to help people social distance, new cleaning procedures, placing hand sanitizing stations throughout its theaters, and encouraging contactless and cash-free concessions. Encouraging. So that's all good, but the mask thing is just as important, if not more so, than all of those things.
Yes.
Like, if you put a barrier in front of, say they put a 6 feet barrier from the person giving you the popcorn versus everything, that's great. But if you don't have masks on, who cares at that point? So this is what they originally said about it. Where's the exact quote about the mask? I can't find it here. Oh, AMC will not mandate that all guests wear masks, although all employees will be required to do so. So you're putting your employees at risk then.
Yep.
Nor will AMC perform temperature checks on customers, though it will monitor its employees' temperatures and have them undergo screenings to check for signs of coronavirus. The situation will be different in states and cities that require residents to wear a mask when they're in public. But Aaron, the guy from AMC, said that AMC was wary of wading into a public health issue that has become politicized. Health and public safety is not politics, and I hate when I hear people try to argue that it is.
Yeah,
science is not politics.
No,
like I'm sort of just sick of it. And wow, we did not. Here's this quote: "We did not want to be drawn into a political controversy. We thought it might be counterproductive if we force mask wearing on those people who believe strongly that is not necessary. We think that the majority of AMC guests will be wearing masks." How do you think that? What did you conduct a poll?
Yeah.
When I go to an AMC feature, I will certainly be wearing a mask and leading by example. Holy shit. Holy shit. Cases are spiking in states that are reopening early. Florida, Arizona. Like, this is...
California's cases haven't even started to dip.
They're just where they are because we reopened everything, but people are still being taking precautions. But now they're spiking everywhere else.
Yeah.
So there's no indication that guests are going to treat this properly when we had them all...
Turn on the news.
When they're all jerking off in the Ozark lakes, a few weeks ago together. They don't care. They don't care. People don't care. They didn't care. Ian gave someone a mask and they immediately didn't care.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think... Yeah. At some point, you have to be a nanny to some of these people. I hate to say, you have to be the nanny state when it comes to some of this stuff. You can't always trust people to do the proper thing, and that's left-wing Pat saying that, which I'll probably be accused of. I've been accused of being everything, I guess. So they got pushback on this, obviously. So they reversed course about this. Reverses course by the next day will require guests to wear masks at its theaters.
Good.
AMC Entertainment faced backlash after CEO Adam Aron said its decision not to require masks was made in an effort not to be political. All right. Cinemark and Regal are encouraging guests to wear masks, but not making it a requirement for entry. Guess which? Well, guess where I'm going, where it's required where you wear a mask. That's where I'm going to go, those theaters. And I'm sure other people will think, the people that don't give a shit, whatever, they can go to those. I'm only going to the ones that's required. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I'm just going to take my sweet time on going back. But yeah, it's just... But... It's especially infuriating because you are the people that announcement that wasn't they didn't think they were pandering to what they thought was going to be a big segment. A lot of these people who are online yelling and screaming about masks and all that and how oh, it's against my freedom, they are a minority
of people. Yes,
they are a vocal minority.
Yes,
but companies like this, literally, when they make announcements like that, they are saying, we don't want to deal with anything. We don't want... Basically, it's how am I trying to put this here? It's like when a parent just puts their kid in front of a TV and walks away. They don't want to do anything. They don't actually want to be responsible for their business in any way, shape, or form.
Sure.
And by you're catering to a group of people that says you have to do all of this so that I'm safe, but I don't have to do anything because I know better than me. I mentioned it on here before about my friend who is a hairdresser, and she was getting this sort of bullshit, the whole "what are you doing to keep me safe" stuff, but they don't want to wear a mask.
It's everyone has to.
Yeah,
everyone. The statistics are out about they've done.
How often are you disinfecting this? Are all your employees wearing masks? Are you cleaning all your surfaces? But heaven forbid they have to wear a mask. They want you to do everything for them.
Sure.
It's infuriating.
I've looked up a couple of polls, and it's the vast majority of Americans have worn a mask in public. It's around 84% of respondents. This is from late May from The Hill. 84% of respondents said they wore face covers in public to limit the spread of the novel virus. 89% of Democrats surveyed said they had worn masks out in public, while 81% of Republican respondents said the same. So it's still a vast majority there. Either way, the idea that there is a sizable portion of the population who somehow violently opposed to this behavior that public health officials are advising just doesn't seem to line up. It doesn't. It doesn't.
And that's what I'm trying to say. And that's what gets me so angry about these companies. You are pandering to a handful of very loud, dumb people.
Yes, the people that are either paid actors or crazy enough to storm the Michigan State Capitol building with guns, complaining about not being able to go out. That's a very small minority of people.
And here's an idea: let them go as customers. Let them go. Just let them go.
I mean, not go to their place. Let them leave.
Let them leave. Sure. Let them not be customers anymore. You don't need these people.
Because, like I said, I'm not going to an AMC theater if they were not going to require masks. You would have lost me as a customer.
Yeah. Stop being greedy for fucking 5 minutes. You don't need these people as customers.
Well, it's thinking that they're confusing politics with safety.
Right.
I don't understand that at all.
Well, I'm sure someone sat them down and said, hey, that really smart announcement you made that you thought was brilliant and was going to make everyone happy, you made these 50 people happy who will come see movies now, but you just lost these thousands of people who will now not step into your fucking movie theater because you decided that you were going to make a non-political statement.
Yes, it's insane. I mean... Even if some of those people aren't wearing their mask properly, the fact that you're forcing them to do it or you don't step inside says something. And I don't care if you get to start shaming people for wearing masks properly or just to wear them at all. Do it. I don't care. It's like shaming people about drinking and driving. I was looking up that there was a lot of people in the early 80s that did the same sort of thing about when people were starting to be required to wear seatbelts. Yeah. There was a big outcry about that, similar to this. Oh, it's my right. Your fucking brain's gonna be splattered against your windshield if you get into an accident at 30 miles an hour. or your kid will be because you don't think your kid should wear a seatbelt. It's not just about your rights at that point. Then don't get into a car and drive. Then you give up certain rights for certain privileges in a law-abiding society. That's the way this works. That's the social contract when it comes to these things.
Just remember the sign.
Is it this? Is it you pulling with that, or is it
point
or 2 fingers up?
Pull.
How about this?
Yeah, you can do that too.
There. Anyway, so good on you, AMC, for reversing course, for committing an unforced error. I just think it's ridiculous there.
Fucking idiots. Big news. Big news for me.
We need a win for 2020. We need some good news.
Yeah, we do. And this was actually this was one of those just joyful moments for me. There was an announcement. Pokemon Snap 2, called New Pokemon Snap, is coming out, and I am so excited.
New Pokemon
Snap. Pokemon Snap, for those who don't know, and you might not know because I did the math. If Pokemon Snap was a child, it would be old enough to drink this year. Pokemon Snap is 21 years old.
Wow.
21 years fucking old.
I was going to say 2001. It was 99?
Yep. Pokemon Snap it was March 99.
Well, learn about that in a future guidebook.
So, for those who don't know, Pokemon Snap is a game about taking pictures of Pokemon. It's wonderful.
It's a rail thing, right?
So there's different courses. Basically, there's different nature preserves.
It's like you're on a little safari trolley sort of thing.
And you sit on a little train, and it puts you around the fucking area, and you take pictures.
First person, right? You're just looking around,
and you can throw apples, and later on smoke bombs. And you can make the Pokemon do all sorts of fun interactions, and that was half the fun of the game was figuring out what you could do to make certain set pieces happen, in
terms of certain poses or certain actions.
Yeah, like making
because you got
Gyarados appear and stuff like that.
Because you got bonus points for how good your picture was in frame.
You got bonus points for how good your picture was, but you could also throw apples at something and make something come out and something you could
lure them out.
You could make different things happen. Yeah.
So it's the closest thing we have to a popular bird watching video game, basically, where you're just trying to look and find things,
right?
Because you're not guaranteed to find the rare ones, right? When you go through, you have to go.
You have to know where to look, and I said, there's usually there's stuff that you have to do to make it happen. There's certain events that you have to kind of set off early on in a level to make things happen later on in a level. So, anyways, I've been wanting a sequel to this forever because the original game at the time only had half the Pokemon in it, and this was at a time when Gold and Silver hadn't even been released yet, so there was 70 Pokemon out of the 150 in the game that you could take pictures of. I've always wanted one with more Pokemon and more courses, and when one didn't materialize on the GameCube, but I thought for sure one would happen on the Wii with motion controls. I figured it made sense for pointing and aiming, like a camera reticle. And I thought for sure it was definitely going to happen because they released the N64 version. They put the N64 version on the eShop.
Oh.
And from what I understand, they did actually add
motion. So you can aim with the Joy-Con?
You can aim with the Joy-Con. I could be wrong about that, but I seem to remember that I seem to remember that being the case.
Every week.
So then it didn't happen, and I was sad. Then the Wii U happens, and I go, absolutely, we're getting a fucking Pokemon Snap 2.
You said Switch. They released it on the Wii.
I'm sorry, on the Wii. Yes, on the Wii.
Joy-Con support.
With remote support.
Gotcha.
Then the Wii U comes along, and I go,
there's going to be a Pokemon Snap.
There's going to be a Pokemon Snap.
It's a camera in your hands.
It's a camera in my hands. It's a viewfinder. They made this for Pokemon Snap, just like they made the N64 controller for Super Mario 64. If
there was ever a game designed for the Wii U.
They obviously made the Wii U so that I could get a Pokemon Snap sequel.
And then...
But nothing. And then I officially fucking gave up. I officially just gave up.
Do you think they want to come out with one?
No,
anymore?
I just assumed that at this point we were never going to get a true sequel to Pokemon
Really?
Snap.
You thought like that was it?
It's been 21 fucking years.
You know, well, you got to grow up. You got to get out of the house.
It's been 21 goddamn
Go to college.
years. So, now we're getting one, and I'm very, very happy.
Well, I'm happy for you, Ian. But here's the thing, Ian.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan. I know like 4 Pokemon names. I like Pokemon Snap.
It's so good.
There's something interesting and relaxing about a game where it's like you're at the zoo. Like I said, you're sightseeing, you're birding, as Frank would do it, bird watching, and you're just casually seeing what comes up because it's different every time. You know, they're not always in the same position. You can get and it tracks like, you know, what rare ones you found, what have you. I mean, I didn't play a lot of it. I remember playing it. It's just something different. To me, this is Pat's Pokemon game. This is what appeals to me. Pokemon Go doesn't appeal to me. Pokemon Stadium doesn't appeal to me. This is my Pokemon game. This is what draws me in, and I can't tell you why, because I don't even know the names of the creatures I'm taking a picture of, besides like 4 of them. But it's adorable to me. So when is this going to come out, Ian?
Not soon enough. I honestly don't know when it's supposed to come out, but it's not soon enough. I don't even think a release date was mentioned.
Usually whenever it's a Nintendo property, they tell you right away.
Yeah,
when it's coming out,
or they at least give you an idea.
They're doing pre-orders for it. Really? When is this coming out here? I'm surprised you didn't know that, being that you'd be on top of Pokemon Snap. That's the one thing I thought you'd know. You don't know about Pokemon Snap here. Well, you know, Nintendo Switch is definitely a console that's not known for things like that, Ian.
If you're into games with blood and violence and sexual content and kids in sexual compromising positions and rape on the Nintendo, if that's what you want, then buy a Switch. Yeah,
so that's why it's surprising to see a Pokemon game coming out on the Nintendo Switch there, Ian. That's all I'm saying right there. That was a wise man that said that fairly recently there. So really don't have a release date on this thing yet?
No.
Okay. Someone's going to correct us, I'm sure. Crash Bandicoot was also a teaser. Was shown for that.
Yeah, I really have nothing to say about that.
You're not a fan of Crash Bandicoot?
No, I am. Actually, I really like
I remember playing it a little bit on the PlayStation back in the day.
I like the first 3 Crash games. I like their weird on rails but 3D platforming.
Okay, when
style,
you're running along
behind them, and I like the side-scrolling stuff too. The fact that this is called Crash 4, and I think it's called isn't it literally called It's About Time or something like that? Yeah, Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time. I think that's a pretty funny tongue-in-cheek name.
When was the last one? Crash 3.
Well, there's been lots of Crash games in between Crash 3 and now. But I think this has kind of been like I remember Sonic the Hedgehog tried to do this when they tried Sonic 4. They're like, okay, we want to go, like the first time, they're like, we want to go back to the classic style. We're just going to make another, you know, we're going to put a number at the end of it. So there's been Crash games on other systems that, you know, Twin Sanity and stuff like that. But I think by naming this one Crash Bandicoot 4, they're implying that they're going to go back to a more classic style of gameplay.
Okay, so let's see. They had Crash Bandicoot, Cortex Strikes Back, I guess that was 2.
Mm-hmm.
Warped, that was 3.
Yep.
Wrath of Cortex, so they didn't call that 4 technically.
Nope.
Twin Sanity.
Yep.
Crash of the Titans.
Yep.
Are these all platformers?
Yep.
Mind Over Mutant.
Yep.
And it's About Time's a new one. So this would be the 8th game? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be the 8th one.
Yeah.
In the series, but I guess they just want to go to 4.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that implies that we're going to see a more classic style.
Like the Sonic 4.
Yeah, like a return to a more classic style of gameplay.
I don't know if I like that. I don't like just doing the number thing like that after ignoring it for so long.
I think it's weird, but I mean, I don't really care. If it's a game that I will probably play this. I'm not going to rush out and get it on launch day, but I am always interested in seeing new platformers And after playing the Insane trilogy when it came out, I remembered that I do kind of like the Crash games.
So that probably gave them, once that did well, they're probably like, okay, let's get this.
I think that's it. They were like, look, we can take these old Crash games, use this old gameplay style, make it look pretty,
Remaster
and
'em.
people eat it up. So maybe we can continue on with this.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. You test dip your toe in the water and you see what happens. I got nothing really to say about Crash either.
So when are we going to get a Mario 4? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, it's supposed to be Super Mario World.
Well,
but they got rid of the numbers.
That's what I'm saying. They got rid of the numbers.
But there has been plenty of side-scrolling games since that.
Yeah, like New Super Mario Brothers would have been like a Mario 4, 5, 6 if they wanted to do that sort of thing.
I mean, God, if you go by side-scrolling Mario games at that point, New Super Mario would have been like, was there one in between World and that? I guess what DS had
Yoshi's Island technically.
Yeah, so Yoshi's Island would have been 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would have been like 7.
I mean that's subtitled Super Mario World 2. So
yes,
yeah.
I forget what technically is actually a Super Mario World 2
Yoshi's Island. Yeah.
Technically, I remember for the guide, but we had to decide. Okay, is this under?
I remember you calling me about that.
Yeah, because I was like, how is this really referred? I think I defer to how Nintendo really named it. There. So all right, there you go, Crash.